want to welcome everyone to the August council meeting, Ozark City Council meeting. Tonight, we are blessed with having our most recent fair pageants that they had last Saturday night. And tonight, Miss Reba Kaylee Campbell will be coming, and she's going to be doing our Pledge of Allegiance for us. And if you will stand, and after that, Mr. Barham will do our invocation. So there's the flag, so whenever you're ready, okay?
There you go.
Ready? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Very good, and congratulations.
Will you pray with me, please? Heavenly Father, we come before you today thanking you for all the many blessings that you've bestowed upon us individually and that you bestow upon us daily in our community. Lord, we pray that as we assemble to take care of the community's business, that we may all bear in mind the necessity that we act with compassion and understanding toward one another, and that we act in the best interest of the whole. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Susan, if you will call the roll, please.
Meyer.
Yes.
Minor.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Milton.
Yes.
Maker.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
First, we have the minutes. We're going to do the July 14th minutes first, please. Do we have any corrections or additions, questions? If not, I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Summer.
Milton.
Yes.
Maker.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Minor. Yes. Meyer.
Yes.
Next, we have the special meeting that was July the 21st. This was in regarding the Kimbro building and the bookstore. So you have the minutes there. Do we have any corrections, additions, or questions? If not, I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I'll second them.
Meyer.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Minor. Yes. Milton.
Yes.
Maker.
Abstain.
Tyler.
Yes.
And next, we had a special meeting on July the 23rd, which was in regards to the therapy pool repairs. You have those notes as well. Any questions or comments? If not,
Motion to approve, sorry.
that's okay. I need a second, please.
I'll second. Tyler.
Yes.
Maker.
Abstain.
Milton.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Minor. Yes. Meyer.
Yes.
Okay, next you had your treasurer's report. Do I have any questions or comments? And for those of you in the audience that do not know, the council members received their packets on Wednesday prior to the meeting, so it is not like we're just running through it. They have had time to look at it, and some are real good about calling and asking if they have questions about it as well. So I don't want you to think they're just not paying attention. But do we have any questions on the financial report? If not, I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Need a second, please?
Second.
Tyler.
Yes.
Maker.
Yes.
Milton.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Minor. Yes. Meyer.
Yes.
Next, you have the department head reports. Devin, I'm gonna ask if you will come to the front at this time, please. You all received, I do believe it was a week before last, Devin sent you pictures of some properties here in Ozark that are in distress. And that's a nice way of putting it. So, have the floor, sir.
So you guys have seen the packets. We've got five properties that we've been dealing with. The neighbors have been mowing the lawns and trying to take care of their property. They're upset with the situation. We've sent letters out. We've tried making phone calls. We're just not getting much of a response back, or things haven't been happening with it. So we've done everything that the ordinance says, I believe, Kevin, that we've done everything that we're supposed to do, and we've turned it over to you guys to see what you guys want to do with it. Do you have any questions, or?
If I can interject. The ordinance provides for the ability to issue a citation or file criminal charges the ordinance makes the violation of the ordinance a crime. And so I've worked through a couple of the packets that Devin has sent me. I haven't gotten through them all, but we have actually filed charges against the landowners after they've been notified and re-notified and so forth. And I think the first one I filed was 10 counts of 10 different violations of that ordinance and the fire codes of the state. And so that has been done. Devin can't go write a citation to these folks because they don't live here. And he can't drive to Timbuktu. And I mean, we've got them all the way from
Oklahoma
Texarkana
City.
to Bella
Yes,
Vista
sir.
to wherever, and even out of state. And so what we, in speaking with Judge Kapp, she has suggested that in lieu of doing warrants for arrest of these people, we issue criminal summons and direct that they appear at such and such time. And so that's what we're working on, is getting all of those people before the court to account for their violation of the ordinances. So that's the step we're in at this point. I told Devin, I'm not interested as a city attorney in becoming full-time. I don't think the city could afford me or would want to. You know, so we're not asking to file 5 separate new lawsuits. We've got more pending now than we can say grace over with these 2 buildings downtown. Anyway, so that's where we're at. We're pushing on through. Devin did provide an affidavit for each of those cases, setting forth what the police department had done and what notices they've given and what violations they are. And so I've attached all of that to what's called a misdemeanor information, and we're getting those filed with the court. So there's your update.
What happens if they don't show up for these summons?
I'm sorry?
What happens if they don't show up in court for the summons?
Then the court will issue a warrant, if they were properly served, their summons.
That's some of the issue, though. If they're not getting the letters and stuff, the letters are coming back to us because they've either moved or they're just not.
And of
open.
course, if they're out of state, we don't have jurisdiction over them criminally for misdemeanors.
That's why I'm asking, what happens?
Yeah,
Are
well-
we at a dead end again?
I don't know that the court would issue an order then. And those are the ones that we may end up having to ultimately file suit over. But let's work through the system first and see where we're at. And as those come back, I mean, if that becomes a case, right now, the ones I've seen, they've all been local in the sense that, you know, they're within 100 miles. I mean, we can get service through the sheriff of the county that they live in.
Devin,
Which
you
is
say
what
you're
we're
getting
gonna do.
letters back?
Sorry?
You're getting letters back already, unclaimed?
Some of them, yes, not all of them, but some of them. The one that's at behind Duggar's Family Clinic, behind Family Dollar, we've sent 2 letters off. Both of those have been returned to us saying the person doesn't live there anymore. So far, we haven't been able to find a good address for them. I've tried calling them, can't get a hold of them.
Which
They're not
our
answering
ordinance provides that we use the address that's on the tax record. And if that is not a good address, then we simply post the notice on the property. And I mean, I think that that's probably sufficient constitutionally.
Do we have to post it in the paper?
No, well, not as of yet.
Now, we did on the cookhouse on Austin Street, did we not have to end up posting that in the paper?
I don't believe so. I think Kevin sent them a letter, and then we ended up going through circuit court on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got them served by publication.
Okay,
which is part of the civil judicial
Okay.
process.
But on that one, we knew who owned the house, and we've
Right.
been in contact, they just wasn't doing anything, so.
I know you and I had talked about the one that is back off of 24th Street.
Yes.
Now, is it that daughter does not correspond back with us, or doesn't care, what? Tell me.
The one on 24th Street on Villa Drive, it's been going on for several years. Was finally able to make contact with the daughter. She said that her brother had passed away. She's got some medical issues. She lives, I believe, in Oklahoma City and was unable to come down here. I put her in touch with some local guys that were maintaining the yards, keeping the house secure and everything. She quit paying them. They can't get a hold of her. We've tried to get a hold of her and can't get a hold of her, so. But then, so there was two different neighbors over there. One was mowing the front part of their property and the other neighbor was mowing the back part of their property. Because nobody was mowing it, and
I think they're actually
the
here.
guy she hired, wasn't getting paid and he can't make contact with her.
Do we have a way of knowing if she's passed away?
Don't know. I've searched the obituaries and things for her out there, and I haven't come up with anything.
And that may be one that we have to end up filing suit on because it's an out-of-state
Correct.
person. But I don't know it will be any easier to get service on her then than it is now, so, I mean, we still have to give her notice. And of course, we've always got the option, if the court approves it, of publishing notice in the paper. But under our ordinance, the proper address is the tax address on the tax assessor and collector's records. They're the presumed property owners. So anyway, we are progressing.
Yeah, we've gotten several houses taken care of over the last few years, but we've got several more to go. And then we've got several buildings downtown to work on as well.
And to give an update on the one on Austin Street that we talked about a couple of months ago, has that gone through with David?
It has gone through. I talked to the former owners Friday, and they said that it has gone through, and the new owner said he would be getting it taken care of as soon as possible. He's gonna come in and tear down that residence, the fence and all that, and then rebuild.
And the house that was up here, just out west of town, that has been purchased and they have started working on it. Intentions are with that one, they're going to completely tear it down and put a house back there. So just so y'all know that. Okay, did you have a question or a comment for Devin when Kevin, Randy?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, he answered my question.
Oh, okay, okay.
This process, I just want to say, I'm glad we're moving on these, and I know it sounds slow, but as long as we keep moving on them and get these things cleaned up, that package is pretty well self-explanatory what we're looking at, and it's terrible. So, yeah, I appreciate Ann
Thank
Harrison
you.
for taking on it, and.
Well, the pictures say 1,000 words.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. That's all I have.
Are you gonna recognize her?
I will, yes, because they're the neighbors. Yes, ma'am.
The grass is waist high in the back. It's right next to my property, and I don't know, somebody needs to mow it, whether you mow it or.
We can't enter the property without proper authority. That could be considered a taking by the city, for which we would, I mean, we're trying to enforce the ordinance. You've heard our colloquy in our reports about trying to ascertain who it is that's responsible, and I'm filing criminal charges on them as soon as we can find them and get all the paperwork done.
Yeah, as soon as you find
I have been in that house because I guess when she was paying someone to maintain it a little bit, my husband and I walked over because we saw somebody there. And he's looking like men. And it's like somebody just walked away with all of their possessions and junk.
Well, they died.
Yeah, but.
So they did, I mean.
It's just, you can barely walk through the house and the roof is leaking and so it's really deteriorating. My question is, can a person, whoever owns it, that and the others you're talking about, if they just ignore all of your communications, and they just did away with that, is that just?
find them, and we can get them in front of the court. The last one we had was 210 Alston. The judge gave him 30 days, 7 days to clean up, to mow the grass and everything, 30 days to sell it. So that was ordered by the judge. We just got to find them and get them taken care of.
Like the house that I live next door to, because she lives on the other side, she's out of state. She's not gonna come up here. We don't have any jurisdiction out of state. And it just.
So we'll have to file a lawsuit
Okay.
in order to be able to do that.
So it's not like the city can condemn it for being a public nuisance?
Well, we can condemn it, but we have to follow the procedures that the Constitution mandates, a notice and an opportunity to be heard. And so our notices keep coming back, so they haven't gotten real notice. We've done what we're supposed to do in terms of the deal, but we're working through it, and we will get it resolved. But we just have to follow the constitutional mandated procedure.
But see, I'm not familiar with all this, that's why I'm here. I just wanted to find
Yeah.
out just what the process is.
But we're working on it.
What's your,
I've had that report about 2 weeks, and Devin's been working on it for 3 or 4 years, trying to get them noticed.
Years, yes,
And,
he
uh,
has.
attached to it for 2 years?
Yeah,
Um,
so we are working on it.
okay.
Sir, did you have some comment?
You know if the taxes are up to date on.
I don't know.
The house over there, yes, it's caught up right now.
Well, for a
It's-
long time, the assessor probably didn't know they were dead, and so they kept getting the homestead credit until the assessor was alerted that they were deceased. When you're deceased, you don't get the homestead credit anymore because you're not living there, and living is part of the deal.
So
of that.
on
And
that,
so,
on that particular property, it's been redeemed twice, so they wasn't paying taxes on it.
right,
It come up for, the Arkansas Land Commission was gonna sell it, they caught the taxes up, let it go again, and it come back up again, so.
I remember when that last time it came up with foreclosure, because some people stopped at our house and wanted to know because they'd seen it was going to be auctioned off. But then the taxes got paid at the last minute.
And we,
Somebody was interested in buying it.
Somebody's paying taxes?
we have some of those places like that around here where they don't pay the taxes. The one
Is
behind,
that who we need to serve, is who's paying the taxes?
Family Dollar up there is the same.
Even if it's
same
not
thing.
the owner?
They gotta have some interest in it, or else you wouldn't be
Can
paying
we
taxes
serve
on it.
that person, Kevin, if it's someone different?
That's something we can call probably the tax assessor's office and see.
I missed that one.
Devin's been in touch with the tax
Yeah.
assessor. I mean, we've,
Yeah, and so, yeah, we talk with them quite a bit, plus the county clerk and circuit clerk to see if there's been
transactions, deed transactions.
any deeds
Or
or
probate.
any probate, things like that. So, I mean, we're down at the courthouses all the time, talking to those folks down there, trying to see where we're at on this stuff. There's not been any probate or anything filed on it. We have another house there on School Street. The owner's deceased. He's got a sister that I found through the obituaries. I've been unable to find contact information for her. She lives down in Texas, or at least that's what the obituary said. Every phone number I've tried getting hold of and stuff has just not been a good number, so.
But I will say they are working on it, because I try every morning to make a round through town, and then he and the code enforcement officer get the emails. So I'd hate to know what my ringtone sound is for him, or me. Might not be good, so. Okay, anything else on that? Okay. You have the department head reports in there. We're gonna go over some things in Brooks, in our public announcements in just a few minutes. Committee and commission reports. Argus, would you like to say anything about your Parks and Rec?
Everything, the food truck, we've set up free for them out there until further notice. At the community center, everything seems good. I believe the bathrooms, Michael, did you say are operational by the splash pad now?
Yes.
So, and then we are currently still working on trying to get, like, restrooms downtown.
And I would highly suggest that you all go out if you have not gone out by the splash pad. The bathroom is a tremendous asset to that. I had a lot of people comment on it. We will be getting started on the concession stand bathroom there at West Park, or West Side Park. I did make contact with Little Rock and tell them that we were, returning back, or not taking that money from them, so we can pretty much get started. And, do we have an attentive date on when, I know we told OAYO to get their stuff out. Okay, have they made any effort to get it out? And they've had their 2 weeks, correct?
Another 2 weeks, and I told him again last week.
Okay, I'll call tomorrow. Okay, I think that's all the update we have for y'all on the parks. Angela, do you have anything for cemetery?
We didn't have a quorum.
Okay.
So,
I will tell you that all the benches are sold. We are wanting to put up now a cross and then put a rock out there in front and do some landscaping around that. So, next on the agenda is the old business under the Kimbro building update. And I have asked our city attorney, because after we gave an update on the radio about our special meeting, we had several people not understanding the process, and I just felt like that it needed to come from him. And I will read this in the morning on the radio as well.
Well, you need to look at that date. Anybody else want? I've got 3 or 4 more. If anybody wants.
What date am I looking at? He told
I
me.
guess December 1, 2022.
Okay.
So this is, everybody I think knows, this is the 2-story building downtown next to Jimmy Maynard's old office. And we have been fighting this battle since long before I came into office in 2019 with the mayor. And it had been going on for many years before that with notices and other things. Finally, in 2022, the city authorized me as the city attorney to file suit against the owners of the building. The tax bill is going to Carter Kimbro, who lives in Fort Smith. And so I communicated with him first and got a response, but not to the issue. And anyway, so we went ahead and filed suit back in December of 2022. We had to publish notice. We could not ascertain who else might have an interest in it. I have pretty well settled that at least 60%, if not 75% of that building is owned by Mr. Carter Kimbro, and there may be another 25% in other heirs of the Carter estate. So I have received communication from Chris Brockett, who had been contacted by some of those heirs who want to quit claim and do whatever they can to get rid of their interest. They don't want any part of any and all of this. And so I haven't had any follow through with that, but at least that was the announcement, and that's been some couple of 2 or 3 months ago. In the meantime, in June of 2023, we went to court, had a trial in front of Judge Patterson, and Judge Patterson found that the property was in violation of the city ordinance and did constitute a public nuisance. The court approved a plan to rehabilitate the building and provided in paragraph 5, and then in the handout, I have quoted the exact words of the order. Upon completion of the remediation, of such remediation, the city of Ozark shall file a report with the court as to the expenditures in repairing the building. The court shall examine the same and hold a hearing if necessary, but otherwise a judgment and lien will be rendered against the property and the defendants for the cost of repairing the building, and if it not be paid within the time set forth in the judgment, a public sale of the building will be ordered, and the proceeds of sale after paying the cost thereof shall be applied to such judgment. The court finds it has inherent equitable power to render such a lien, as well as a statutory power, and then the 2 statutes are cited. Since then, the city has engaged in a course of attempting to find someone willing to undertake that remediation. We had contacted a couple of design build firms. Mr. Trotter, our fire chief and building inspector, was in deep talks with one, and that went on for months. Finally, we actually bid the thing twice, I think. And so finally, we have settled on the folks who have been here the last few months giving reports, and in a special meeting, I don't know, I don't remember if that was in July or June.
It was July 21st.
July 21st, so that's the date that actually goes in that third bullet point. I went by memory, which is very, very faulty sometimes. It didn't seem like it was that recent. But anyway, the city approved a request and a contract to, or the council did, to propose, a proposal to commence repairs. That they're on the ground and running, and as soon as that is done and they are paid and we can total up all that we have had to expend, including the bidding cost and the publication expenses and all of the other things that we've done, we will prepare a list of all of that and file that with the court as soon as the building is complete. And at the same time, I will upload a judgment. That's how we do it these days, via the internet. There aren't any more wet signatures on with ink, wet ink on paper anymore. It's all electronic. So I will upload a judgment to the court. It may be a problem in his eyes that we've waited 2 years to do this, but we've got a logical, reasonable explanation for why it's taken so long. We have actually been at it hard during those 2 years, and we just haven't come to fruition until finally now. And so, and it took a special meeting to get that done. So anyway, once that judgment is uploaded, if it's approved by the court, then 10 days from that date, notice will be given to Mr. Kimbro and whoever else I can ascertain is entitled to notice. And after that time is gone, then the court will enter an order appointing the clerk as the commissioner to sell the property at the courthouse steps. Once that is done, whoever buys the property will pay whatever price they bid on it, and that money will go be held by the clerk and paid over to the city to the extent of its lien. So that's where we're at. That's how it works. Any questions?
Thank you very much. I think that's very good, so thank you for doing that. That's all we have under the old business. And having 2 special council meetings back to back in the same week, at one of them, you all asked that at the next council meeting that the spending limits be discussed. Right now, it is at $10,000, and that was the reason the one day that was $11,800, and we had to have the unit fixed at the swimming pool. That $10,000 is a very low limit, so I'm going to open that up for discussion, since you all asked in that meeting for it to be put on the agenda, so there it is.
What does the municipal league advise for a limit, or what is common for other cities? I know we're way behind in this area.
We are behind. Most generally, they're gonna run anywhere between 20 and 30,000.
Well, actually, you don't have to have a spending limit, because number one, you're the ones that appropriate the monies. And nobody can spend monies that you hadn't already approved and appropriated. But when something, you appropriate X amount for repairs, but before she can spend more than $10,000, if it's an $11,000 bill, she's got to assemble you guys and have you meet and vote. That's what the problem is. And so there is no requirement that you have a limit. That was done in a particular instance to handle a particular problem that occurred sometime in the 70s or early 80s, and it's just been a carryover on the books ever since. So I would advise that you don't have a limit. You've got a limit by what you appropriate. Whenever you approve the funds, it's up to the mayor to use those funds in accordance to how you've approved them to fulfill the policy of the council and to execute the business of running the city. If you're going to have one, you should probably make it at least 50,000, because if you look at inflation over the last 10 years only, and not going back the 50 years that this has been on the books at 10,000. But if you look over 50 years, 10,000 then is certainly more than 50,000 today. You know, back in the 70s, which is hard to believe, but it truly is. 50,000 is the limit on which you have to get bidding now for a construction or whatever. To purchase goods or build things, you've got to have it's got to be more than $50,000 in order to require bidding. $100,000 to have to employ an architect or an engineer. So, you know, messing around with $10,000 when a simple pump at the swimming pool costs 11 is just, it's binding the hands of the people that have been elected to do the jobs and the people that have been employed to carry out the day-to-day business of the city. It's really a problem.
So if we do the no limit like you're talking about, everything's in place where it's still gonna be protected.
Well, it's limited by what you've appropriated.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So it still goes through the process, so things can be done without having to go in and have these special meetings. For,
And trust me, I didn't wanna have to call it, but we
Well, yeah,
had
I
to
know.
have that fixed.
I realize that.
And especially since we had one the night, or 2 nights before.
I'm glad you explained it that way, because I didn't understand it that way.
I didn't either.
That makes sense, though, that the money's already there for a repair that's needed, but you still are, your hands are still tied.
My hands are still tied.
So,
But the money probably wasn't there for that repair.
It wasn't. You were right there.
So you would've had to hold a special meeting anyway. That's my deal with the whole deal. So
oh,
my opinion, we leave it alone. That's just my opinion.
And
the
leave it
money.
at the 10?
Neither one of them would've had the money appropriated already for them, so you still would've had to hold a special meeting. So what's the difference?
Unless there's money in there for the operation of the pool, she could have done that, and if needed more money, she could have gone ahead and done it without a special meeting, and at a regular meeting, we could have added the money back in for the repair work.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm just telling you, I mean,
Yeah.
that could have been a way to.
It could have been a way to do it. It's just my opinion. You all probably disagree with me, but I don't have a problem with the way it is. Just my opinion.
In my opinion, I would think we either need to raise it or add a line item in the budget so that you have appropriations.
For emergency
expenses.
For
For
emergency
That's what I
expenses.
brought up the other day.
Yeah, that's
was,
what we had talked about.
Say have a $50,000 line item in the budget where we've got money sitting there if we do have an issue like this. And then the mayor can say, yes, we can spend it because we actually do have that money appropriated without having to.
And in that instance, then you would get rid of the spending limit.
Right.
Up to that
Up
$50,000.
to the
Up to what's
Yeah.
appropriated.
Appropriated, yes.
that does make good sense, too.
No, because even if you appropriate it, she still can't spend it if it's more than $10,000
that's
without
what-
your specific approval.
But that's what I said, once we appropriated a new line item, then that would, ordinance or whatever that is, would it not go away? If
No,
we
you'd still
remove-
have to, if you had a $10,000 or more expenditure that wasn't specifically approved by the council, even though you've appropriated money that could be handled, with anything she spends over 10,000, whether it's for trash bag, I mean, whatever it is.
So I think she's talking about doing away with the
Do
10,000.
if
away
you-
with that.
Yeah.
If you did away with the 10, then yeah, then you'd have that and it'd be appropriated and.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it'd
that's
be done.
what I was saying.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's an appetite for that or not, but, I mean, you know, it is what it is. The law doesn't provide for a spending limit on the mayor. It gives the council the authority to do so. And usually, in my experience of 40 years of practicing law with cities around the area, that's usually more exercised whenever the council has a bone to pick with the mayor, as it was in this case when it was first passed back in the 70s.
And that's my problem with it going away. We don't know.
You know
what the
who's
next
gonna
mayor's
be the
gonna
mayor
do.
next year, or
That's
next time.
exactly right. So that's why I believe
Yeah.
it still needs to stay in place.
Yeah.
so,
Well, I know
understand.
Clarksville theirs is set at 20. Paris is at 20. No, I take that back, Clarksville's is at 25. I'm just saying, we waited the other day, and this has been something that we had discussed, because I'm going to tell you, in 2019, and I think she'll back me up, and I think Michael probably will too, we sit in a meeting and it was increased to 20,000 and somehow didn't make it in the minutes. Don't ask me how, she wasn't here, I'm just saying it didn't make it, because we all thought I had a $20,000 limit, was why Michael and I ordered those stupid signs, and then I got crucified over $11,000. But I thought I had the 20. And I mentioned to it then, we need to increase that, because you all don't know the money that we go through, and when things break down, I don't like having to call these meetings, because the majority of you have jobs. But, I mean, if you wanna leave it there, I'm just telling you, there's gonna be
Well,
things
with
that
the
are breaking and coming up.
Inflation on everything nowadays, I mean, a $20,000 limit wouldn't be the end of the world. But I mean,
My question is, if you do what Somerset said, do you set aside 50,000 in general? Or what if it's a street that needs it? Am I gonna have to transfer so much money, and we're gonna have to meet to move it from the general to the street? Or, you know?
That can only be done by council action.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say, so if.
You're gonna have to wait until there's a meeting if you need something in the street department, and it's not appropriated.
Right,
You're gonna have to wait anyway until there's a meeting if it's not appropriated.
right.
The point is,
Unless it's an
in
emergency
the
like
community
we-
thing budget, in the community center budget, they've got a line item for maintenance and repairs
Right.
that could have been used but for the $10,000 cap.
How often does something over 10 come up?
Not very. I've been on council 6 years. and we've
Well,
not had very
it
many.
has not come up very often.
It hasn't, but you can ask these guys, things are breaking, things are happening.
But see, the car, see, we spent 20,000 on
Yes.
the car.
Thinking that that was the limit,
Yeah.
but that was in 20. And, we'll call them.
Okay, I have a question. So like the other day when Michael needed, we met and talked about in a special meeting for him to buy that piece of equipment.
Yes.
If that was under the $50,000, could you have gone ahead and bought that piece of equipment if your spending limit was more, or is that only for an emergency?
No. If she can spend anything up to that limit, whatever you said.
So Michael could have come to you and said, I really want this piece of equipment.
We need this.
Or I have to
piece
have, if it's appropriated already in his budget, if he's got money there for capital outlay,
Okay.
then he can do it.
So it's
But if the
not-
money's not there, you still can't do it until
Okay.
you guys
So
put the
then
money in there.
I feel like we're protected then, Charlie, if it's that way. Do you not feel the same?
I don't. Michael's got 150,000 in his budget for street paving, anything over 10,000, we still have to approve. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
You don't have to approve everyone, because that's already appropriated money, correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So, anything over 20, I get bid, but
I thought we still had to approve the bids though. Do we not, Kevin?
Not if it's in there that you've already appropriated according to the league. If it's in there and you have appropriated it for that,
For a specific
for a
purpose.
specific purpose, no, you don't.
So really, you're still back to the same thing, you just well leave the 10,000, because the money's not gonna be there to spend it anyway.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you this. It's pretty crappy for me to sit on an executive board for Municipal League, and I'm the only mayor that has a $10,000 limit. So to me, it looks like that you all do not trust me to manage this money that I've dealt with for so many years.
I'll bet if I take a public vote of this town, they would agree with the 10,000. And that's where I'm standing. I've talked to several people about it. And I'll be honest, most of them said they think it's too high.
Somebody tell me hush.
Just my opinion. Make a vote, I don't care.
You gotta have a motion to have a vote.
So there's no way to make, if we don't have the spending limit and we do what Summer said, there's no way to make that work, Marlon?
Well, I'm just saying, like, okay, if y'all say, let's do 50,000, okay, we can appropriate that into the general 50,000, but what if it's the street that needs it? I'm gonna have to go into the computer and take some of that 50,000 out of the general, and we're gonna have to appropriate it and move it to street. Because if it's gonna be paid
You're gonna
out
have
of
to do that
street-
by ordinance or by resolution,
Right, we would have to do another step to move it from,
if it's in the street department,
right.
because that's separately funded.
Right. That's all I'm saying, is if we put 50,000 in general and saying, okay, this is her, or this is that amount, well, street needs it. Okay, well, we're gonna have to go in, and someone's gonna have to reappropriate that miscellaneous line item out of general, and we're gonna have to move it to street. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't pay it out of the general fund if it's the street fund, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's the
Or
way
had
that-
it been for the community center.
So you still have to have a,
Still the same thing.
is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry?
You'd still have to have a vote for that?
Yeah, there's still gonna somebody's gonna say, okay, we're gonna have to take that 30,000 out of that line item in general and move it to streets.
Or appropriated 30,000 out of the unappropriated
Still gonna have to have
streets.
approval, no matter what.
So if we raise our spending limit to 50,000 or whatever,
If-
how does that work?
If
Okay.
the money's not there, this usually comes up in respect to maintenance and repairs. I mean, that's
Yes.
where this comes up.
That's
Yes.
where,
And if you have money in maintenance and repairs that would cover the costs, she should be able to pay it, because you've already
Right.
appropriated that money.
Right.
But she can't, because you have a restriction put on her by virtue of the ordinance that says you can only spend $10,000 without a specific approval by the council.
So two things would need to happen. Her spending limit would need to go up, plus each department would need a
Well,
line item for,
They've all got line items for maintenance and repairs. There's money in there.
You're
But we're gonna have to take it out of general and move it to street.
well, I'm saying not even have that.
But I mean, you've got street
50,000.
money for repairs of equipment.
If,
Right, but if it's more, or if you.
Yeah, but if it's more, you're gonna have to address
you
that
have to address it anyway.
You're
at
phys-
some point. But in the emergency situation, she could use whatever money's left in the street department maintenance fund.
Yeah,
if it was.
Right now, only up to $10,000, but if it's up, it could be as much as 20 or whatever.
yeah.
You're contradicting yourself, because you already said that in the case of his paving budget, that's 150,000.
That's a specific item though for that is to be spent on paving.
If you got a line item for maintenance, what's the difference?
Because maintenance could be 1,000 different things. Paving's paving.
I think you're splitting hairs.
But. like
Well, I'm
Brooke's
just telling you,
budget, if there's-
that's how the auditors look at it.
I'm trying to put this in, so if, let's say Brooke had 20,000 for upkeep and maintenance of the pool equipment, could you not spend that since it's already appropriated for repair?
Up to 10,000, from what I'm gathering.
I don't understand the difference between that and paving, I just don't.
Well, because
It's appropriated for maintenance. but it's
paving is
appropriated for
putting,
maintenance.
paving is putting oil and
Mhm.
gravel, asphalt on a road. That's only one thing. That's all it can be. It can't be anything more than that. Maintenance could be a million different things. And so you've already appropriated something very specific by appropriating paving. But maintenance is not specific. And if she spends more than $10,000 and y'all haven't specifically approved it, then she's gonna get written up under the deal, under the audit. And her expenditure would be illegal.
And I won't do that. Sorry.
So it's kinda
So-
like the founding fathers, when they never put in the Constitution that they need to have a balanced budget.
Yeah.
And that's what this whole thing is
Well, I
to
mean,
make sure, but I mean.
We're gonna have a balanced budget one way or another. We have to do that under our Arkansas Constitution.
Right.
I don't know, I feel like if they have the money there, I don't understand why Roxy couldn't write a check for it.
Well, that's what we just have to,
Yeah.
if she'd had a $15,000
Right.
limit, she could've just paid it,
She
because
could've
the money
written
was
a check.
already
If you
there.
could've
The
just, that
money was
went on
there,
and it
she
was
could've
there,
paid it.
but
It would've been just done,
think
to me.
he's saying it can happen for anything other than maintenance because it isn't specific. Right?
Right.
If any expenditure of hers over a $10,000 amount for any specific item has to be approved unless you, by virtue of your appropriation, have made it specific so that it can't be spent on anything else. Maintenance could be spent on changing the oil, or it could be spent on buying new tires. There's 1,000 different things that maintenance, or a new motor, or whatever, or new blades. I mean, there's 1,000, that's not specific, like pavement is specific.
I think
And
where
so,
I'm not understanding this is,
by virtue of $150,000 being appropriated for paving, she doesn't have to get that approved. Y'all, I mean, you know, she's gonna look to the committee to decide where it's gonna go, where the pavement's gonna go. But she can pay it. But for maintenance, if she's gonna spend more than $10,000 on a specific item, it has to be in the budget that's that specific item. Maintenance is not a specific item.
so my question is, does each, refresh my memory here, does each department have a maintenance line item?
I think so, probably, yeah.
So that's a vague deal. If maintenance is entered, then that should have covered under the maintenance, whatever amount they had set. Whether it was the $11,000 deal or whether it was a $500 maintenance item.
Well, but
If
if
they
it's
had
an
money set aside
unexpected,
in the
It is.
budget.
but if it's an unexpected expenditure, and you've already budgeted this for maintenance, cause this is what we usually spend every year,
Right.
but then all of a sudden the pump goes out and we don't spend on pumps every year. So that's an extraordinary expense. I mean, it's something that doesn't happen, something that wasn't planned for. There may be enough money there, but you're gonna sacrifice the rest of the maintenance that goes on in order to pay it. At some point, you're gonna have to put the money
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah. You'll be in the hole because they spent the 10,000 on something unexpected versus the rest of his year using his maintenance line item, you know what
But
I'm
he
saying?
For
didn't spend
changing
any more
oil
during
and
the year,
buying
but he
blades
still
and-
owes more.
Doing the things they do.
So if we raise her spending and say, same situation with the pump, Brooke doesn't have that much money in there,
Then you're still gonna have to have the council assemble and appropriate that money.
then, so I don't understand what we'd be risking, Charlie, if we do it. Because it's not like Roxy can go spend 40,000 on Christmas decorations or something. That's what doesn't make sense to me, why.
In my opinion, I'm gonna shut up.
So when we voted the other day to pay the pump bill, did we have to adjust the budget for that money?
It will be, yes.
But we didn't have to do it then.
Well, because we had already had your budget meeting and already
Well, I'm
reappropriated
just
it.
asking
Yeah.
to make sure that we were just approving the
That
purchase. We weren't moving
expenditure
the
of
money to that.
$11,800.
But whatever the spending limit is, it's gonna have to be done, it's gonna have to be amended by ordinance because the spending limit was set by ordinance.
Set by ordinance.
So you have to have an ordinance to approve, and
Yeah,
we
I
don't
was
have
asking if
one
we had to
tonight,
redo-
but,
if we were
and from
moving
the,
that money
it
at
doesn't
that
seem
time,
like there's
or
gonna be a
comes up later in the
consensus.
year.
No, there's not, so we're just gonna move on because we can just have, all kinds of special meetings. Even though,
You know, update on the bookstore?
yes, I do, please.
All right. So, during the special meeting that was on July the
Second,
21st, 21st, the council voted to move forward with the same type of lawsuit regarding the bookstore next to the Kimbro building that we had on the Kimbro building. And I had already, by that time, it'd been a week or 10 days, before that, I was alerted to the problem and already mailed a warning letter out to the owners. The chief, who I guess is gone now, oh, there he is.
Yeah, right there.
He had mailed letters as well in the several succeeding or preceding months concerning that building. The letters found the individual, and she wasn't at the place where the tax assessor thought she was, but it was forwarded, and she was kind enough to call me. And she did so the week after, in fact, I think it was the day after we had our special meeting on the 22nd, and said that she was under contract to sell that building, and this is the new owner, and this is his number. He also called my office that day, and I did talk to her, but I was not available when he called, and I haven't talked to him since. but I have been checking to see if that transaction has closed. And I do not know today if it has or not. But last time I checked, it had not closed. But rather than rush into a lawsuit, he assured my secretary, and I think, did he call you too, Susan? Or Mayor?
I haven't.
Anyway, he left a message that he's gonna get on it as soon as the thing closed. So I'm holding off on filing that lawsuit. There's no sense in filing a lawsuit if they're gonna listen to our warning. So that's where we're at, and I'm not gonna give him too much time. You know, it's kinda like this house down here in front of the funeral home. We sold that with the or had it sold with the understanding that, the 30 days is 30 days, so. And that's what I'm gonna tell this fellow, as soon as that thing closes, he's got 30 days to bring it into compliance, or we'll be after him too. So there's your update on the bookstore.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And we had no one sign up for public input, so that leaves us to announcements. And I'll find those out when I finish here. Fall cleanup is October the 6th through 11th. Transfer station will be open all week that week from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. They will close at noon for lunch. Saturday is 8 to 11:45. And this time for Ozark City residents, I've made arrangements with Green Source out of Clarksville. We will have electronic bins set up for televisions, computers, microwaves, but the residents have to have a copy of their water bill to prove that they are city residents, because that will have to be paid for. That's not a free service anymore. We have several homes and businesses that are not in compliance with our ordinance 2028-8 on premises identification that was approved in a meeting. They need to get this taken care of as soon as they can, because at the end of this month, we will start the process of warning and tickets. Those numbers on your house or on your business is for your protection, for ambulances, for fire. It's not just because I drive around town and see that you don't have a number there, but that is an ordinance, and I've talked with Devin, and the code enforcer will start in September on issuing warnings and tickets for that. Bargains Galore was a huge success this year. You couldn't really tell after driving around today that we'd had as many people as we did in town. And I do want to comment that at the East End Park, in the past several years, the American Legion used that for a fundraiser for the American Legion. They had disbanded, and last year a different lady took over, and they used that money, half of it for Shop with a Cop, half for Toys for Tots. So they did that again this year as well. She contacted me this morning. She's probably gonna have a little over $800 to give to each organization. So that was very successful. Do want to remind people that when you do have yard sales, there again, it is on an ordinance. You do not post signs on the city or state poles, and they do have to be removed within 24 hours. This coming Saturday, the 16th, from 12 to 5, over in the community center parking lot, Hand to Hand will be there. And if you'll remember, they're the organization that May 17th gave away shoes and games. They will be here as well. Touch a Truck, we're going to tie in that with this event. Ken's Towing is providing school supplies while they last. Webb City Baptist Church is going to be serving hot dogs, and we'll be having an opportunity for the kids to get free haircuts. So in all of that, the kids do need to be present. The community center is going to close September the 7th through the 13th for the annual deep cleaning, which we had a fantastic summer, so I promise you it's going to need it. Main Street Ozark has sponsored 2 of their summer concert series, and they've been very successful. The first one brought in an estimate between 250 people. Local vendors were there with food trucks, local beverages, and they received $260 to Main Street in donations. Had 34,000 views on Facebook, which I think that is fantastic. This past weekend, and can't believe you missed that concert. You wanted that one so bad. Had an estimate of over 500 people in attendance, 7 food trucks, and received $347 in donations. So a lot of time, hard work, and a lot of sweat has gone into those events downtown. Unfortunately, I have not been able to make either one of them, but it's on our schedule for September 13th. Thought it was the 12th, but we're good. So we want to thank them for that. The recycling bins have been delivered. They are the gray 96-gallon containers, and they have asked that everything fit inside the can. So break your boxes down, and if for some reason someone has not got on a recycling program and you want to, if you will give us a call at City Hall, we will be more than glad to get you signed up, and they will bring you a trash can. I do have, if anyone wants flyers for the cleanup, this will be in the morning. Brooke will post it on our Facebook page. It'll be on the water department because I got with them, and they will put on the bottom of the water department bill about the cleanup and just a reminder that they do need to keep their copy of the water bill. So that's what's going on. Pass those down. That's just information that I just gave you. And I have a few extra, if anyone in the audience would like one. Mr. McDaniel, I have yours here for you as well. So if nothing else, we need a motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Wait.
The general public get a copy of the city council agenda before the meeting.
You just have to ask.
Yeah.
They are posted online.
They're posted online, and it's also in the graphic. So, I think Angela did. I'm not sure.
Just pick one, we'll be all right with it.
Yeah, take pick.
Tyler?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Melton?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Minor?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yeah.
Hey,